There are surprises. There's wonderful things that writers are doing, and that's the kind of thing that they do.
Give us an example of what you think is a good song.
An example of a good song?
A good song. Any good song.
Pick one from the Beatles catalog. I mean, they're all good. I learned to be a musician, not a songwriter. I mean, in retrospect, a songwriter, but I learned to be a musician by sitting and listening to Beatle records and trying to copy what I heard on the guitar. That's how I learned to play the guitar. And so pick one. I mean, they're all fabulous. This Boy is one of my favorite songs in the whole world, and it's a minute and 58-second masterpiece.
But hey, This Boy is every song ever written, isn't it?
There's a song in Greece called C, A minor, F, G7. It's not in the movie, but it's in the stage play. It's called C, A minor, F, G7 because there were so many songs in the 50s with those chords. Well, the Beatles, anyway, they used those same chords. They substituted E minor for the G, so they had... But over top of that, Paul McCartney sings a B note, which turns this D chord into D major 7th. The band is not playing D major 7, they're playing D, but he's singing, that boy, and it just turns the chord into that. One simple little tiny note, and they took an entire decade of samey ballads and elevated it to a whole new thing.
You were saying to pick a good Beatles song. I think Here, There, and Everywhere is one of the great classics as far as super nice changes.
That was a hard song for me to figure out because there's a really odd chord change in it. Anyway, it's here, making each day of the year, changing my life with a wave of her hand. Nobody can deny that there's something there. So this, by the time Revolver came out and that song came out, and I tried to learn it, I had been learning songs off of records so I could play them in a band for 3 or 4 years. I didn't expect this chord anywhere, and I couldn't find it because, well, you don't use that chord. I mean, if you transpose to A, that would be a C sharp 7th in the key of A. Now I know it's not all that unusual because I've broadened my experience a little bit past Chuck Berry and Little Richard.
For me, there has been a hierarchy of musical education. There's we get stuck in our 3 chords or our 6 chords or whatever our vocabulary is, and it doesn't grow beyond that. So instead of pushing the envelope and really stretching, we stay stuck and mired in that. And that has to do with melody choice, rhythms, lyrics, all of it. We tend to entropize it.
But to be fair to people, we don't know what we don't know.
That's true. Well, let me throw out a couple of thoughts. This may take a few minutes, but everybody who has spent a little bit of time playing music has played the typical 1-4-5 chord, okay? And you can play that for years and years and have fun with it. At a point, I graduated to adding 3 basic chords to that 1-4-5 pattern, okay? I'm in the key of D, so those of you who are guitar players, I'll talk to that point. D, G, A are your 3 chords. I started adding an E minor, an F sharp minor, and a B minor. And all of a sudden, I had a new world open up to me. So instead of just, I was playing, and I had many more choices, and I started substituting some of those new chords for the typical 1-4-5 that I've been playing. So that's the first level of substitution that I learned. And the second level, you hear in James Taylor constantly. I call it, it's the flat, on the 7th, the flatted 7th value of the scale. So it's this. So here's my 1, 4, 5, and it's the C. Okay. And then the other one is a step up, which is the E. So now I've got new array of harmonic options. If you take those chords and work them into every key, get to the point where you can play them in every key, you turn yourself into an artist who's drawn stick figures to someone who all of a sudden has this enormous palette of colors and ways of expressing yourself musically and harmonically. A song that I almost threw out demonstrates this pretty well. It's called Always and Only. So here's the simplest way to play it. Broken, lonely, always and only, I'm thinking of you, can't believe that it's true. Then I'm going to add that first level where the E minor, the F sharp minor, and the B minor become available to me. I'm going broken, lonely, always and only, I'm thinking of you, B minor, can't believe, E minor, that it's true, and I'm heartsick, stumbling, tripping and stumbling, wondering what I'm gonna do. E minor, always and only together, that's what I thought it would be. Never worried a lot, 'cause the story I bought, E was you always and only loved me. Never sadder, nothing matters, the clock stopped the moment that you walked away. Now I'm broken, lonely, always and only, thinking of you night and day. Now, because I play in all keys, I transposed the bridge to the key of G. So instead of going, I went. D. Always and only together, that's how I thought it would be. Never worried a lot, 'cause the story I bought was you'd always and only love me. Never sadder, nothing matters, the clock stopped the moment that you walked away. Now I'm broken, lonely, always and only, thinking of you night and day.
Okay, so what you guys, I noticed that what you were noticing is how fantastic the lyrics are and how they just go dump, 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 dump.
You and I are thinking exactly the same thing. I was sitting here thinking, I hope all the songwriters out there were catching the contrast. Contrast is so critically important, so that everything doesn't sound the same for 3 straight minutes. You have to have something a little different, and it needs to contrast to something else. And the beauty of what Bruce did in that song is the way, the meter of the lyrics. Da, 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 just a couple of syllables for a whole melodic line, and then da 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 da, where he's hitting quarter notes, and then back. And so throughout the song, you have this wonderful contrast between where the pace, not the tempo is slower, but the pace of how the syllables come out is slower. He's doing half notes, and then he goes to quarter notes. And if you don't do that, your songs are boring. They just sound boring.